Olá, meus amores! Antes de tudo, gratidão por você estar presente para mais um conteúdo. Eu estou passando aqui rapidinho para lembrar de curtir agora esse vídeo, se inscrever no canal, ativar o sininho para não perder nenhum vídeo incrível que trazemos aqui para você. Combinado? Agora, apertem os cintos, entre na nave estelar e bora pra aventura!
Okay, so hello, Elena. It's very nice
Hello.
to see you again. Thank you for coming to my channel. And we're very grateful for all your deep love and your strong encouragement and your strong stimulation you give us to our minds. So we are all very grateful. And on behalf of all the Japanese people who watches the translation that I do about your channel. They're all very grateful. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for all the good work you are doing. You're doing such a tremendous and amazing work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so we still had quite a few questions from last time that we didn't have time to cover. So I'm gonna start reading the questions, and if you could answer. So let's start with the first question. You told us how you were bullied all your life, but you managed to overcome this and not let yourself get sucked into the negativity. How do you protect yourself? How did you manage to do this? Please tell your secret.
Well, my secret is awareness. I am aware that these bullies it's not about me, it's about them. It's about either a pain or problem they have that is not mine. So they feel the need to bully someone else, or they have a programming and I know they have a mission to try to destroy me. And it's still not me, it's just their programming. So I know who I am and I concentrate on my life and I pretend they don't exist, because in the greater perspective, they do not have an influence on my focus, on my mission. And I just ignore them, and I never engage. That's the thing. And why would I react emotionally if there's no reason to? When someone reacts emotionally, it's because they have wounds. So your enemy is going to try to find where's the crack. So I have healed all my wounds, and I'm permeable. I'm, how to say, waterproof to to this. Just ignoring and
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So it's important to heal yourself, right? First,
Of
because
course.
if you don't heal yourself, the wound is still there, and people can, trigger you from these wounds. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very important to receive healing, and then you realize that everything is just the theater. It's like a movie, and you can
Yes,
choose your
yes,
own movie, right?
yes. That's it. That's what it is. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Okay. Well, there's another question that is related to this previous question. I just say thank you and goodbye. I say this over and over again when I start to think of the person that gave me a hard time. When you remember about this person, say like your ex-husband who did something bad to you, how do you deal with it?
I acknowledge that all what he did to me was because he was in pain. I acknowledge this, that it was never about me being bad. It was about him feeling bad. And I am grateful for what he taught me about myself. Because what he taught me, for those who don't know, I have been in an abusive marriage before, a very long time ago, and the person, he was a narcissistic pervert. He has taught me about myself, skills. He taught me how someone intelligent can get sucked into an abusive relationship, and after a while feel like they are nothing. They are nothing. How this work? And how do you get out of this? He taught me that. And now that I've understand this, I can teach it to humanity. Because humanity is in narcissistic abuse with, the dark ones. How I understand now the mechanism. But, I also acknowledge that before incarnating here, I chose to experience this with this man because I wanted to understand how it works to be able to help people.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to say something. Yeah. So it's important to acknowledge that you chose this partner to experience this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's always a lesson. In any case, it's always a lesson.
I understand it as evolution. If you are not triggered by challenges, you do not become a better person or a more aware person. You need challenges. You need to make mistakes. Mistakes are the greatest teacher, So in the greater perspective, people who hurt us are our teachers.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Next question. People say, love yourself. What does it mean? Could you explain it more about what does it actually mean to love yourself? If it includes remembering, how do you do this?
Loving yourself is first forgiving yourself for all the mistakes you've made, because there's a poison that is called guilt, and this needs to be healed. There's many different therapies for that, techniques. Once you have made peace with yourself, you can start to love yourself. And loving yourself is, how to describe that? Just being proud of yourself, and be gentle and cuddle yourself with the emotion of love. And this is a frequency that is going to heal everything and make you invincible. It's a high frequency. Love, it's the highest frequency in the universe. So when you do that, you heal yourself and you empower yourself.
Yes. Okay. It's like self-esteem, be kind to yourself. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. What happens to one's partner or family or friends when we go to the fifth density and they are left behind? We will just disappear from their life? I wish to go altogether. Is there anything I could do to help the ones who are not awakened yet? I have friends that I can no longer be with because our frequency is different. So,
well, first, these friends, you need to respect their choice, their path, and let them go and move on. We are all moving together in the fifth density. It's a slow process. process. The planet is shifting slowly, and this process is being slowed down by the positive star nations, because humans have been abnormally lowered down and they need to catch up the raise of frequency. So that takes time. So this would take maybe a generation or two to be really able to have the planet totally in the fifth frequency, the density.
Okay.
That cannot be on the same in the same how to say, you won't disappear because it won't be so hard brutally. It's slow process.
Okay.
So you need to let them go. You know, the people who chose to stay in this state of mind, they'll end up their time, when time is right, the time they chose, and they reincarnate in a new avatar.
Yeah.
And they will be in a higher frequency at that moment. So let them experience what they chose to experience.
Yeah.
And just with love.
Yeah.
Be there with love.
Just trust that it's all going to be fine in the end. So you
Yes.
can't really change people. So, you know, if they don't want to know, you know, the truth, or, you know, if they don't want to choose to, you know, be in the love and, you know, that kind of a high frequency, it's always their choice, right?
Yeah, you can't force them, you know.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you. So next question. Does Thorhan listen to music?
He loves music.
So what
He
kind of
loves
music do they have on the galactic fifth density kind of a?
All sorts of musics. There are some musics who are very close to our musics on Earth, and there are some musics who are just frequency modulations that work with colors, light, colors of light. I've experienced some what they call music for certain species. It's sound modulation. It sounds like a choir or orchestra, but it's sound. It's like tuning forks, but changing. That's it. That would be the thing. And it changes the colors in the room. And you have like patches of colors that appear very shiny and move and change color, disappear. And the frequency does that.
Is it done by instruments, or is it done by their mind, or how does it done?
I don't know. I've been in a few places where you hear that and you see the music, but I don't know, it comes from everywhere at the same time. And you can do that with instruments. I know Thorhan has a little lyra, and when he plays it, you have the sound of like metal. It's metallic chords, strings, I mean, and it creates this light show in the room. That's absolutely, I think consciousness comes into the picture. That's beautiful.
Maybe if you have like possible, maybe, do you think you can introduce some music from other planets on your video?
I'd love to. I think the musician needs to have this level of consciousness, this skill that they can tune into the instrument, merge the consciousness with the instrument or the device.
Right.
You know.
So is there other instruments that you have seen other than the lyra?
No, not personally. I know there are so many, but I've seen only this one. myself.
Okay. Thank you. Next question about money. I am sick of working just to make the ends meet. I try to think that I'm not suffering and I am happy, but still, I cannot truly feel, that. Do you have any advice how to see it differently about money, about the concept of money?
Oh,
It's a different topic.
yeah. I don't know.
Like we have to, it's like we have to suffer. Money equals suffering, that kind of idea. I think a lot of
Money, it's an enslavement. It's the global banking system,
yeah.
that create this enslavement to money.
Mm,
I think when free energy will be available for everyone, there will be so much less struggle with money. And I think it's going to change to a different system. But how do you see it?
mm.
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Does the Ta'ami language spoken by the Galactic Federation of Worlds have something to do with the Dravidian language spoken in India in that area? Is there any relationship between Dravidian and Ta'ami? Because, like Tamil and Ta'ami sounds a bit similar too. So
I think there is, I think there is a relation. I think there is a heritage in Tamil from the Lyran people, Tami. I strongly believe, and Alex Collier said that Tamil, Indian Tamil, is the oldest language on earth. So it would make sense. I would agree that it's linked. There's a link.
The Dravidian language.
Dravidian.
Do you know the Dravidian language? I think Dan Winter was talking about this language, like Uru something he was saying. It's also spoken in the India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka area. Do you know the relationship?
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so next question is about Margie Grail. I think in some video you talked that you are the line of Margie Grail.
Oh. Well, this body has inherited from this bloodline. Yes.
And what is this? Is this something to do with the Enki's DNA line?
Yes, it has. It has to do with that. I'm not the only one. I need to precise. There are many who have inherited, a lot of people. This is, yes, the Adamic bloodline comes from Enki, experimentation and creation, genetic activation, I would say, activation of this human Adam, called Adapa. Adapa, yes. That was the Anunnaki version name, but it became Adam and Adamic in the Earth language. It's the line, that bloodline, that it was activated, totally activated. All the strands of DNA were activated in this guy, and the outsprings just gave the patriarchs what they call in Christianity the patriarchs. It was a bloodline. Jesus was on the way in this bloodline, and I've inherited from it by my mother. My mother's father is from a French royal bloodline, descended from
the Magdalene.
Yes, the Magdalene. Well, we call also the Magdalene bloodline, because that's the bloodline from Isa, Jesus, and Maria Magdalena. It's their their descendants. Yes.
Mm. So Magic Grail is the Magdalene bloodline. It's the same?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah.
Exactly, exactly. The Grail, if you want, even Enki used this term when he said, I brought back the Grail. He said this when he told me that he brought back the template of the Adamic bloodline, the original, unspoiled template. Before all the, what the dark ones have done to alter humanity with the poisons, the chemicals, and everything. He brought back the sequence. It's like a frequency key, and he calls that the Grail. And that's the descendants, that's the bloodline of Adam. And the Magdalene bloodline, the Jesus bloodline, is the same thing. And he brought back the original sequence.
I see. So we all gonna get that.
If we want to, because this is an activated bloodline. What this bloodline has, it's nothing superior to all other humans. The difference is they're not superior, they're just activated.
Right.
So we can choose to, but to activate ourselves by meditation and spiritual techniques, this works too. We have the choice. Some people, we want to go faster, and it's everybody's choice. I like the spiritual way. It's more organic, natural. I would choose that if I had the choice.
But then there's also the med bed that has that
Yes.
template in it, and
yes, you can opt. Sometimes it can be useful for people who have a disease, genetic disease, so they need that to be cured. They need to repair that DNA.
Because sometimes, if you're not physically healthy, you cannot do the spiritual practice and do it the natural way. So maybe you need the med bed to help
if
you.
you have a handicap, you're in a wheelchair, and because it's a genetic disease, then that can really cure you.
Yes.
Really.
Talking about Magdalene, I heard from another person who lives in England, Scotland. He wrote a book about the truth about Mary Magdalene and Jesus. And they actually, according to his book, it says that they, at the end of their, I don't know, towards the end of their life, they moved to France, to Marseille, and they met, they spent the rest of their life there, and they had 2 children. Do you know anything about this?
Yes. Joseph and Sarah. There's 2 children, a boy and a girl. A girl first, Sarah, and then Joseph. Sarah was born when they arrived, and then Joseph, the boy, I think she was pregnant, and the boy was born in Marseille. Yes, and I was born in Marseille, south of France. That's where my family is. And so I was taught about the whole story very young, and we visited the places. There's a mountain near Marseille where Maria Magdalene stayed, and near to her death, until near to her death, then she was lifted up, probably in a ship. They said she was lifted up in the light by angels, so that's she was taken back on board the ship when she finished her existence, probably to continue her existence somewhere else. But it's called the saint. The mountain is called the Saint Balm. The balm. Maria Magdalene was known for like creams and balm. And so I went to all these places, and yes, her bloodline started in this area and spread throughout France afterwards, and then England, Scotland, also. There's this branch
Right.
throughout royal families.
Mm. Do you know which planet she came from?
I do not know. I do not know.
Okay.
No.
And how about Jesus? Jesus, do you know where he came from?
Yes, it's an intergalactic civilization. They are called Hovid or Huva. And I don't remember quite well the name of the galaxy. It's just numbers,
Different galaxy. He came from
different galaxy.
Oh.
Yes, he was part of the Cedars.
Wow, okay. Wow. So, okay. So he came as a human body, but he used to be the Cedars. I mean, he is the Cedars, but he came into a physical body in
Yes.
order to.
Yes. And there are some theories or people saying, no, he was from Sirius. But they are not wrong either, because Jesus was an Anunnaki hybrid. So, and this branch of Anunnaki came from Sirius B. So his biology is linked with Sirius B, and that's biology, and that's not wrong. It's right in that way. Also.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I think you said that there are arcs that are Cedars arcs. There are not only Anunnaki arcs. Have the Cedars arc been found? Do you know anything about it?
There are the Anunnaki arcs, there are the Cedars arcs, and there are other people, other cultures arcs as well. But mains are Cedars and Anunnaki. You have different. I wouldn't be able to map where are the Cedars arcs and the Anunnaki arcs. I wouldn't be able to map it. I don't know.
Do you know the difference between the two arcs?
The Cedars arcs are more ancient than the Anunnaki arcs.
Yeah. They came before the Anunnaki.
Before, and they both hold ancient technology, knowledge, but the Anunnaki arcs were later.
Do you know how old the Cedars arcs are?
They may be about 60 million years old, 65, 60 million years old. They may be that old. The Anunnaki came around 400,000 years ago. It's not 400,000, it's 300,090 something. I don't remember exactly the date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they both contain technology and information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So in the future, as a method of communication, do we all need to put chips in our brain? Or is there other ways of communication?
Of course, there's other ways. In the future, even from the very near future, you're not obliged to do anything. You have the choice. But the time when we're obliged to do things, it's when the dark ones were ruling. And they won't anymore in the future. So you have choice. You can choose to have a device in your head, not in the brain, but next to it, just under your skin. They don't, in the brain, it's brain damaging. You don't put metal or stuff in your brain. It's just damages it. The devices are under the skin, between the bone and the skin and the scalp. It's not, under the bone. You can choose to have a communicator device, or you can choose to have it on a watch, on a pin, lapel pin, like Star Trek. You can choose anyway, it's your choice.
But the Galactic Federation of Worlds, they all have chips inside their brain?
The military requires it because especially it's because it's more practical and especially for the pilots who interface safely with the ship, the ship's consciousness.
Okay.
I can give you an example. The Anunnaki, for instance, do not use implant devices. They all had a device at their wrist. You see this round, like in the Mesopotamian Sumerian depictions, you have Anunnaki wearing a bracelet, like a watch with the thing inside. That's this kind of communication devices. But in the Federation of Worlds, which is led mainly by humanoids, especially from the Pleiades, and they are those who put together the Federation, although it gathers so many different races. But these ones, they use implanted devices, their technologies, their choice, and for practical reason as well in combat, you know, that's how they do. Every culture does differently.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Next question. I think you have said this in other videos, but I'll just ask you again. You showed us the future of 20 years' time. And are we going to suddenly wake up to true love and things will start to change all at once? I think it's the same kind of question that we answered.
Yes, no, yes.
Yeah.
Not suddenly, progressively.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this one is also answered. How do you feel about social welfare system for the lower income people? A lot of people feel that it is shameful to receive such welfare, but I think it is practical and that they will have a chance to find a job.
Yes, that's it. I think it's a gift and it's a help, and I would be okay with that. It goes back to what we were talking about first at the start of this video about guilt. You know, do not feel ashamed to receive a gift. You receive this gift not because you have a handicap. You know, you receive a gift because you deserve it, and it's a help, and it's something that is going to make your life better. So be honored for the gift. You know, I would react.
Don't have to be shameful.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
From this gift, build something.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Next question. When you are done with this mission on Earth, I think you said that you'll be back to Pleiades, back into the body that is currently in the stasis pod. But I've heard of another person, from another person, that when we complete the ascension, we will leave this physical body and become just a light body. Is this for another type of people with different mission?
So yes, there's a lot of things that are mixed up in this the question of this person. There's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
The ascension in frequency, we've spoken about it before. It's you won't become in light body. There is physicality in every density.
Yeah.
When you are in that density, for instance, I've been shown the 9th density. I have a friend, his name is Coron, and he lives is a 9th density frequency being, a person, and you cannot see him. When he manifests in the 3rd density, he's manifesting like a glowing, shiny lozenge diamond shape. But he's a human being, he's a Pleiadian. And so he showed me once his physicality. He lifted me to 9th density. I couldn't stay long in there. And his physical, I could touch him physically. He's solid. is very solid, and like is a human body is normal, like you know. So you do not, when you ascend, you do not become a light body. You become a light body when you die,
Yeah.
for reincarnating in something else, you know. So that's what I would answer.
Yes. Thank you. Question about light workers and star seeds. Did we choose our family and environment on our own, or could have the dark side manipulate the situation in some cases?
I believe in some cases the dark side could have manipulated if the soul was captured or, you know, harvested by the dark side. That happens. And then the soul is sent back on earth with a negative, a dark programming made to harm humanity's awakening. And you have people like this who've been sent back in incarnation with a dark mission. That happens, yes. And these people are victims. These souls are victims, but I believe, and I know it can happen.
So they were originally light workers, but they've been
yes,
trapped at some point during the incarnation, and
yeah, there are soul traps. You know, there are soul traps, and there are a lot of traps. You know, things like the dark side. It's necessary that I say that, even if people disagree, take it or leave it. There are inventions from the Orion Greys, the Nebu. They're gone now, but they left like, you know, bombs in there, in here. They infiltrated narratives to harvest people's souls and trap them. And something that is called the Jerusalem ship is one of them. It invites people to live in consciousness, and their consciousness to go on a created fake ship, which is black goo. It's black goo. And they hook at that, and they're trapped. And when they die, the soul is harvested, you know. And as soon as they hooked in this thing, they are mentally enslaved to these beings, this narrative. Greys are gone, but the Jerusalem ship invention is still, it's a black goo.
You said it was like in near the Saturn, the black goo?
No. The black goo is something that is around the Earth, created artificially by the Nebu Greys.
It's still there. Still there.
It's still there. Yes, it's dying out. It's been disconnected from the hive since October 2021. But so if we wouldn't nourish it, feed it, it would have disappeared very quickly into dissolving in, you know. But because we've been hooked into it by these narratives, by these beliefs, we feed it and it survives. It still survives. But at the moment we unplug, it dies very quickly and it disappears, because we are the ones who maintain it, you know. So
how can we unplug it?
To unplug, you need to unplug. Yes, unplug.
So
unplug by
individual connection.
Yes. I've been shown by Una, and I've put that in the Cedars, my last book, with even a drawing I made. I was in tears for hours when she showed that to me. I was in shock. I called Danny Anderson, my friend Danny Henderson, and I need to tell her, I need to tell someone. And I was saying to her, I don't know how I'm going to say that to humans. It's horrible. But I had to. I saw like it was like a tube, like something coming from the crown chakra of some people, like a link, a tube to the black goo it was like on orbit of Earth. It was it's a kind of organic artificial intelligence. It's very weird. It's loaded with information, and it has its own thinking, its own awareness. Very strange life form. So we need to cut it, to sever it.
How would you know that you are connected to it? Because if you're
when you are addicted to this connection, when you are it dictates your life. It dictates what you see, what you say, what you think, and it becomes everything for you. It takes over your life. You know there's something wrong. You know, the best example I can find is the Jerusalem ship. People who say they go there every night and they talk about it a lot, and they go on imaginary missions, which are tricks, mind illusions. The only way there is a way. It's to ignore it, to cut it, to stop, to acknowledge it, and acknowledge that you've been tricked, and move on in peace. Learn the lesson. We all can cut.
But if you're addicted and you think it's a good thing that you're getting information and you think you're doing, you're connected to some, spaceship, then you don't realize it, right?
You don't realize it, and that's why I fight to spread the information.
So
I made a list.
Know it's a Jerusalem ship. If you're connected, they know it's called the Jerusalem ship.
Yes. That's one of the things. There are other things, but that's the main one that I know. They use narratives that appeal to people. They use the myths like the coming back of Jesus. They use real ascended masters' names. That's nothing to do with the ascended masters, nothing to do with them, but they use their name and they pretend they're here, or they pretend to be Archangel Michael, and so it's very difficult. The advice I give is not to try to connect to something outside of yourself. That's it. You want connection with higher beings? Go within yourself, cut everything, go within, and you will find the connection, and that is secure. Do not try to connect to other things. And on my website, I made a page that is called Debunk, and I made a list of what I know is a trap.
Okay, I'll check that. Thank you. Okay. In our last Q&A, when we were talking about the spirit or entity possession, you said that they will always be around the earth in the lower plane, lower density. So then, does it mean that the third density will always be there too? That they will be there if what happens to the third density?
I think the third density will slowly move into fourth, and that's because the planet is shifting frequency. So these entities will either, it depends on all the types and species of them. These entities will follow, but in a different way. They will follow, they will not die. Some of them will follow and shift in a higher density and change. But there are some of them, they cannot change because it's their nature. So these ones will be expelled from the planetary matrix and be sucked into another planetary matrix somewhere in the universe where life is forming. And that is a lower frequency for those who cannot follow.
Okay. So eventually, when the Earth is completely fifth density, they will be gone.
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So next question is, what is Saturn? Not the planet, but the demonic Saturn, demonic thing.
I don't know of a demonic Saturn. There, I never heard about that. Saturn is a planet,
Mm.
and then it's a planet, and the name Saturn is the Latin name for Greek god Kronos, who was the god of time.
Mm.
And so that's something totally different. The astronomers have given to this star system names of Greek gods, well, Latinized name.
Mm.
For instance, Jupiter is Zeus.
Mm.
There is no demonic Saturn.
Because you've never heard of it? Like
No.
they call Saturn like this. They worship Saturn like say the
Oh,
Kabbalah.
Satan. That's something
Satan. Oh,
totally.
sorry, Satan.
Oh my
Satan.
God, the
Satan. Sorry.
confusion! What a confusion! Satan is a Christian entity, Christian god, like created by Christianity, by the dark Christianity. But
Mm.
it's nothing to do with the Greek god
Mm.
Kronos, transformed into a Latin Saturn. It's nothing to do. The Christian god Satan comes from the Jewish tradition, that comes from the Egyptian gods. Saturn comes from the name Satach, who was the Seth, the god, Egyptian god Seth, the god of chaos. So when the how to say, the nomads, the Hebrew nomads left Egypt, they left with the Egyptian beliefs. They took them with them, and they made up the new religion. It became the Jewish religion. And they take this entity with them, and that passed into Christianity. And that's two different things. Setech, or Seth, is the god of chaos, Egyptian god of chaos, and Saturn is the Roman god of, well, Greek, then Roman god of time, the cycles of time. That's nothing to do with the planet Saturn name is from the Latin Greek god of time. So there's nothing. There's a confusion.
Saturn was kind of like an image of a dark place, like a dark planet, and it seemed like it was related to Satan.
Yeah, that's a big confusion. Confusion between names. That's oh my God. What a confusion.
So the Satan is like an evil god, evil being.
Yes, it was the god of, so the god Seth, it comes, so as I explained, it comes from the Egyptian god Seth. Seth was son of Ra and brother of Osiris. The Egyptian gods were Anunnaki. It's the Egyptian version of the Anunnaki story of the main god. Okay, Ra is Anu. Seth is Enlil, and Osiris is Uzir is Enki. Yeah.
Okay.
So Satan is Enlil. Was Enlil, that's the entity. That's him.
I see.
And when I'm Egyptologist, I studied this all the origin of what the Egyptian names have become into other traditions. So it's really proven academically, and you can read books, archaeology and ethnology and everything. Satan comes from the Egyptian god Setech, or Satach, that's a real name, who was Enlil. So here we go.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, next question. is the Alcyon galaxy, Alcyon galaxy, meaning our galaxy, and the Andromedan galaxy, is this a tangent space relationship?
Oh,
like a relativity?
I love this question. So our galaxy, so Alcyon is a star, a young star in the Pleiades constellation. It is not a galaxy.
Okay.
So the Pleiades are very close neighbor to the Sol system, this star system, and we are in this region is in nearly the edge of this galaxy, like halfway, close to the edge. So it's a star. Alcyon is a star. This galaxy that Earth people call Milky Way, the star people call it Nataru.
Okay, yeah.
And it has a close relationship with Andromeda galaxy. Andromeda is also an Earth name. They call the star nation name for Andromeda is Megopei, Andromeda galaxy, Megopei. It has a gravitational relationship. Both are bound by a gravitational dance. And they attract each other, and the bond is getting closer, and one day they'll merge as one, and that's going to be beautiful. But it's done, nothing dramatic at all. It's done on a period of time extremely long.
Yeah, I think Alex Correa or you were talking about that in some video. Yeah,
probably Alex. Yes.
Yeah. So is it like an yin and yang relationship? Does it, if something happens in a galaxy, does it like reflect or energetically influence?
I would believe so, because this gravitational bound, it's way more than gravity. These galaxies have consciousness. They are living conscious entities, conscious beings. So there's a quantum link, there's something quantum about them. So it's there's this link, this relationship.
Relativity, like some.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. The ancient builder race, will they reveal themselves on Earth?
I think so. I believe so. Yes.
Are they also the seeders, the ancient builder race?
They are something different. Yes.
But they're
more ancient.
More ancient than the intergalactic.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So it's a different species group or one species?
I believe it's a collective.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Next question. I spend a lot of time working in the forest with animals. When I go back home, I feel the obvious difference in the frequency compared to the forest.
Yes.
How could I raise the frequency in my house, in my home, as I'm in the forest? Could I use a crystal to do it? Or is there any other suggestions?
I would suggest that you can open your window and let the prana, the energy, come in and fill the house. You invite nature in. Have a lot of plants, a lot of flowers, plants in the house. And also crystals is a very good idea. What you can do, if you have a big crystal, quartz crystal, you bring into the forest and you do a meditation. You put the crystal in the soil in the forest in front of you, and you do meditation, and you call the spirits of the forest to make a relationship with the crystal. And then when you finish, you bring the crystal home and you put it in a flower pot or in somewhere nice, a little very zen and quiet corner, beautiful harmonious corner, and you welcome the spirits of the forest to visit you if they want so. And that's welcoming the forest in your home.
Wow, sounds exciting, kind of fun. Okay, great. Next question. I am an engineer. I still feel my knowledge is not enough. In the near future, will I be able to study abroad in other stars to learn more about engineering?
Of course you will. Of course you will. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have a choice to learn anything you want.
Yes. Once we are members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, we share technology.
Yeah.
Everyone share technology and knowledge.
So we can learn it on Earth as well.
Yes. Yes, it can be. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. Next question. How does the Galactic Federation of Worlds deal with the small beings like insects? Due to the pollution and extermination, because they're considered as pests or vermins, they are just exterminated. Cockroaches are slapped with slippers and killed, rats being killed by poison. I feel that they are in the same circumstances as the children underground. I feel they suffer. How does the Galactic Federation of Worlds support this kind of situation for the small beings like insects?
So when there's an invasion of insects or a disbalance, there's a disbalance in the natural cycle, biological planetary cycles. Nature is disturbed because in ideal biosystem, there is no disbalance, so the insects have their place and they are not disrupting any other species. The Star Nations people I interact with, they have insects on their planets, most of them, but they live in symbiotic harmony with them. They do not consider them as pests. It's harmony, and they adapt to each other. They try not to disrupt the animals, and the animals so then will not disrupt the humans or other species. It's respecting each other's habitat,
So you don't kill them?
No.
Just because they're scared of
no, that's it. Killing something because you're scared of them. We will evolve from that.
So if you're high density beings won't do these kind of things.
No. Because you understand, the greater perspective.
Yes. Is there going to be a slight pole shift going to happen?
The pole is already shifting. It has started a few years ago, decades ago even. I would say 20 years ago it has started, and it's a slow process. It's a natural cycle that happens every 25,000 years. The poles move, and that's the normal moving and dance and wobbling and for the Earth magnetic fields, and it's doing that, and it has never ever brought any catastrophic event. There are some narratives that use that to scare people.
Yeah, like some people say it's going to be like 180 degrees, like the North and South Pole is going to go upside down.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can, but it will be a slow process. It's not like this, because it's a natural process. So everything that is natural is smooth and progressive, Nature never harms itself.
Okay. Okay. Do you know someone who is calling himself Cobra?
I've heard about this person. Yes.
What do you feel about this person? because he's sending messages from the Galactic Federation or something.
Well, this is a difficult one because I don't like to speak about other people, but to me, to my knowledge, he's bad news. Is not. I wouldn't put my trust in what he says, because that's information that comes from upstairs, is not in contact with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. He's in contact with something else that is not. And there's an agenda behind that. There's a big agenda, you know. He supports the gray hybrid narratives. There's another guy called Bashar, who is a total gray agenda asset. And some, there are other ones, you know, they supporting these agendas, but yes, this guy, not to be trusted. It's terrible because it's been happening since at least 15 years. These narratives have been infiltrated and people are really stuck with it, you know. That's how they do. They start by nice things, nice spiritual concept, and then they infiltrate the agenda slowly once they have the
like
following.
90% of what they say are very, you know, nice things, and then they just put one or two little things. They all believe it.
Yes, they want 100% trust of people. So once they have it, they can say anything else after, you know. They'll believe him. So that's the problem. So no, he's not in contact with any federation.
Those two people, the name you mentioned just now, they're pretty big in Japan. You know, there's a lot of people who translate these.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't.
No, that's disinformation. That's not genuine. That's not genuine. I
didn't feel comfortable, so I don't follow them. I don't.
No. And you know, one of them promotes this. You know.
Oh, really?
Yes, the ones who works with the grays, who's a gray hybrid, and there's they promote fear narratives. They promote the alien salvation. Oh my God, there are some narratives these people put forward, is that there's going to be an alleged a cataclysmic event on Earth coming from the sun or wherever else, and everybody's going to die, but an elite of chosen ones will be saved. The ships will arrive and they'll have to go on these ships. This is, how can people not see that? It's a culling of population. And they promote these things. Do not get on these ships. And by the way, it won't happen. It will not happen. That was the ancient agenda that the Orion Greys had planned with the deep state. They had planned to do that. It won't happen. But these people have programs, so they keep on repeating the programs now. You know. So I'm very sorry to tell this.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Do you know, I don't think you know about this, but there's a famous old story in Japan called Kaguya Hime. This princess, she was born inside the bamboo. And this old, couple one day was going into the mountains and they chopped the bamboo. And then there was this little baby who came out of the bamboo, and they brought them home. They didn't have children, so they were so happy. They brought them home and raised her. And then eventually she said, today I have, she was all grown, and all these famous prince from all over came. They wanted to marry her. They brought her so many different gifts. But eventually she said one day she wanted to go home. And tomorrow I must go home. And then there was these, how do you say, like a group of like maidens or nymphs came down to get her, and she went on this ship, like not a ship, but like in a in the story it looks like like a what do you call the carrier, like a horse with the carriers,
The wheels.
the
Oh,
wheels, yeah.
chariot.
And then
Yes.
she just went back to the moon, so she was it was a moon princess. It's a famous, very famous story in Japan, and a lot of people started to now think that maybe that was the true story.
Yes, and she
So,
was an ET. She was, yes.
yeah. So
Oh.
is there any kind of story like this, like a princess from the moon in Egypt, or have you heard any kind of this story in other culture, in other country?
Yes, I've heard this type of stories of there's a great one that I know. It's in Tibet, the first king of Tibet.
Mm.
One day, Tibet was scattered in different provinces, were fighting with each other. It was chaotic. One day, a group of monks were walking near at the feet of the Himalayas mountains, and they saw a big light coming. I don't remember if they say it came from the sky or from the mountain, but there was a big light. And from this light, a young man came out, and he was dressed up with shiny clothes. And he wasn't speaking their language. And the monks were like, oh, wow. And they were trying to ask this person, where you come from? Who are you? Where do you come from? And he turned back and he showed the sky. He pointed at the sky. And finally, they took him with them. And because they revered him so much, he was incredible to them. They were very impressed by even his physical aspect. They had a chair. They put him on a chair, and they brought him to their place, and that's why he was called the chair king, because he arrived in a chair. And he became king of Tibet, and I think he was sent there for a mission, and he gathered all the villages and the tribes together, and he unified Tibet in a peaceful place. And that was the story of the first king of Tibet, and I just love it.
Right. Wow. So he was also coming from upstairs.
Yes. Yes.
to bring peace to Tibet.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's so many similar stories in Japan. It was very similar when I read the Egyptian story about Hathor. Like Hathor was La's favorite daughter. It's a daughter, right, of La.
Yes. Yeah.
And whenever La was like feeling unhappy or upset, Hathor would dance like do a naked dance for him, and makes him happy or laugh. And like La couldn't live without Hathor, and that was some story I read on Wikipedia or something. And then there's a very famous Japanese mythology that the sun god Amaterasu, when she was very unhappy about what's going on outside, like, it was so much chaotic or fights or something, and she was upset, and she goes to hide inside this rock. And then one goddess comes and dance naked, and dance naked, and she's like looking from the rock door, like everybody's laughing, so she's like, what's going on? And she looks outside, and this person is goddess is dancing naked, and then she laughed and she came out, you know. So that's a very similar story with Egypt and Japanese mythology. So it's very interesting. I think they all originate maybe in the same, you know, same story, and it's told slightly different in each culture.
Yes, that's the reminiscence of once a global culture where these gods were extraterrestrials, were known all over the planet. And I believe this comes from what I like to call the ancient world, the world before the flood.
Yeah. All right. So I think this will be the last question. It's from me. I was just trying to finish the Cedars, but I've been so busy since I interviewed you. So much is going on, and so many people are visiting me, and you know I had to do all the translation with John Charles, and it's been crazy. So I'm so tired at night, and I tried to read it, but I couldn't finish it. But talk I was watching reading about the part of Merkaba, and you know let me share screen this thing, this page. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah. So Merkaba, you wrote. I hope it's okay to share this page.
Of course. Yes, it is. It is.
Okay. So Merkaba and Ba, I'm wondering what this bird represents. Can you explain anything about it?
Yes. So this bird, Ba, is in the ancient Egyptian tradition represents the soul, the light body, the consciousness, or the consciousness, the is-be, can as well like this. Ba. So it's a bird with the head, a human head. That means it's the human consciousness that is able to fly. That means transpond to other realms and densities. So the Egyptians knew that the being was had three aspects all together. The Ba, the consciousness, or the soul comes in. The Sa, the body, the biological body, and the Ka. The Ka, you see the second symbol, is the energy body. It's the aura or the magnetism or the energy body.
Yeah.
So they knew these things.
Okay. So the triangle is the
pyramid.
Pyramid.
Mir. So Mir Ka Ba means the pyramid, which is the vessel. Pyramid made with Ka, with
light body.
Body energy with magnetism, or it's the Ka, it's the magnetism of the body, it's the radiance of the body, the energy of the body, physical energy. So the pyramid that is created with the magnetic energy that transports the Ba, the consciousness. So this can be interpreted differently, of course. You have three words, you can play around. Pyramidal vessel, Ka is energy, and Ba is consciousness. Pyramid, energy, consciousness. And you can translate it how you feel. Pyramid, energy, consciousness.
So it's the Merkaba, like if you see it on the right, this, two triangles. So it's the double triangle that creates, I think you had a video of how to create your own Merkaba.
Yes. So Merkaba is the name of the Merkaba we use. It's 3 pyramids, you know. So it's not 4 sides, it's 3 sides. It's a Merkaba. Merkaba is this that we create for our body because it involves the consciousness, and you know, it's a vessel for the consciousness. It's to travel, you know.
Yeah.
But in the we are using universal dynamic geometry. This thing is in fact a mathematical aspect of the flower of life, which is the lattice of the universe. How the universe is structured, the multiverse, should I say. So this is a universal creative dynamic geometry that you can create for yourself. You can, with your the power of your consciousness, you can sculpt your energy field to create one. And once it's created, you can use to travel your consciousness. So that's a magical thing.
So we are going to able to do this.
Yes.
Once we go to the 5th density.
Yes, you can already do it now, because it's not the body, the physicality that will travel. It's the is-be, the soul, which is already in a higher density than 3D. So if you sculpt your energy field, you create it, your consciousness can travel with it, you know, already, because the consciousness is a higher frequency already. We can all do this.
Yeah, without the physical body, you can travel.
Without the physical body. No, it's the consciousness.
It's just your consciousness. Yes. Okay. And does it have to do with the winter triangle? Is there any relationship between this triangle? No?
No. The constellations are a perspective. That's how we see it from Earth. You're going to go on Procyon or Proxima Centauri or Altair, and you're going to see these stars organized differently. Because, you know, they are different distance from Earth. We see a triangle, but from Proxima Centauri, maybe it's a line. You know, so the constellation as we see them, it's all relative.
So Alex lives here, right? The Beetlejuice?
Mesa. It's the upper right corner.
This one.
Above it. You see there's a little little star here. Yes, that's here. That's where Alex lives. Yes.
Okay. So he's a little bit outside the Orion.
Yes, as we see it, in fact, he's behind. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think we are done with all the questions. Thank you.
But that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you. So you came to Tokyo, or was it Tokyo, or
Tokyo
in your pajama? Was it cold? Did you feel the cold? Because
cold.
it's December, right?
It was so cold, and it wasn't a good experience because I was in distress. I was happy Jean Charles was with me, and I mean it's yes. I want to come back to Tokyo, but in good
without pajama. So now
people
you've already
passing
been to Tokyo, Japan for the first time already.
People were walking fast. They walk fast. They're passing by us fast, and in the street they walk fast. I was like, why everybody walking fast like this? And you know,
it must be like a rush hour during the morning time when everybody's going to the work or something.
Probably.
Was it a big city? Like a very
yes. It was a big street, a very wide avenue, and with the high buildings, very packed buildings, but the street was wide. There was a lot of cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Next time you come to Japan, make sure you're No, not in pajamas.
I know. I know.
Oh,
Jean-Charles makes me laugh. He sleeps with his passport in his pajama pocket. He
Really?
says to me,
He's still worried about that.
yes.
That's funny. And you said
That's
you
funny.
wear something special nowadays because you don't know when you're going to teleport.
Yes. I bought a decent pajama that look nice.
Yeah, you don't want to be wearing some very
I
embarrassing.
never know. And sometimes, I'm being on board ships upstairs, and it's a bit shameful to be in pajamas and my socks as well. I stopped one day. I found myself on Thorhan ship with my fluffy unicorn sleeping socks.
Oh, God.
To anyone shoes. So I removed them. I was bare feet, and I said, so they gave me a pair of boots. And why did you do that? Why didn't you warn me before? And he was laughing. He was laughing. He said, "What's wrong with that? That's nice." And no.
Yeah, maybe you can wear like a Hello Kitty pink pajamas.
Yeah, no. Oh, so I stopped with that. Now I have serious pajamas.
Serious pajamas. Serious pajamas. Oh, that's funny. I also wanted to ask when you were up in Thorhan's ship, that you were drinking like a blue drink with
Yes.
Jean-Charles?
Oh, yes.
Blue drink. What does it taste like and what does it do?
So it tastes like sugar water, very sweet water, and it's bubbly, like if you were drinking sparkling water with the sugar in it. That's what it tastes. And it has no alcohol because they don't drink alcohol. Alcohol is very low vibration. They could kill them. It's poison for them. So it's ionized. So it makes you a little bit dizzy. It's like if you drink alcohol or beer, and it makes you a bit, tipsy, but without alcohol. So you're not sick. It's a good buzz. But we humans only drink the blue one. There is an orange color version, and we're not allowed to drink it because it's for other species. And that could make us really, really, really sick. So we never tried the orange. We don't want to.
And they eat something? Do they eat something, or do they just drink herbal drinks?
No, in the bars, never seen food. No, there are other places for food.
So they just drink
Just drink.
Just energy drinks.
Yes. Yes, could say like this. Yes.
Yeah. So they don't eat anymore.
No, they eat, but in other places, not where they drink this blue. This drink is served in recreation places like bars, lounges, But then if they want to eat something,
snacks too. Like little nuts.
Maybe there are some snacks, but I never saw any or was offered any. Maybe there are, snacks. But if you want to have a proper meal, you need to go to a sort of cafeteria. There are plenty where you have food replicators and you can have food there.
It's all replicators.
Yes, and you scan your hand, your fingers, and you put your fingers on a little square screen, and it scans your species, your needs, and they're going to then suggest you a menu that is adapted to your species. You can choose a healthy option where it's all the vitamins you need, or just not.
So it could look like a meat, but it's not a meat.
Yeah, and it has, yes, it can taste meat, and it can have all the proteins of meat that benefit your body, but it's not meat. It is not. It isn't. It's reconstitute. It's replicated,
Yeah.
reconstitute molecularly food. You know, it's not from an animal.
Yeah.
So it will look like a mashed potato or kind of rice substance, but its color is different and it tastes whatever you ordered.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting. Yeah, I think Emery Smith. Do you know Emery Smith?
Yes.
Yeah. He told on one of the videos that he in an underground space, when all these species are there and the cafeteria is there, and there's like this huge iPad that recognize the species, and I think they just there's all kinds of menus for each species.
That's it.
And there's a replicator, and he loves steak, so he ordered a steak, and it's not a real steak, but he said it actually tastes better.
Yes, it. I don't like the taste of meat, but people who eat meat say to me, yes, it tastes like meat. It tastes good. They would eat that every day. And wow.
Right. Okay, great. So there's a lot of good things to look forward in the future. And so I think a lot of people are just kind of waiting for the med bed, but I think we don't have to really wait. We can raise our own frequency
Yes.
in a natural way by meditation and focus on love and, happiness and joy and all of that. So like tools like the tuning forks. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. And I think the giants, when they wake up, they're going to bring some herb seeds, right? And
Yes.
JP said there's this water from that tree from underground Florida that has Anunnaki, sperm, sperm inside, and that water and the seeds, they're going to bring it to the earth, the surface, and that also can help our DNA to activate.
Yes,
So,
there's a lot of gifts that will be given, but once the deep state is gone, because all these technologies must not fall into the wrong hands. And because it will be hijacked by them and it will not go to the people and taken from the people, And on board the Excelsior, I have seen these plants glowing in the dark who have a lot of medical properties. They wait to give it to Earth because it would fall into the wrong hands. It would be taken away from people. So they're waiting. Everything is there. They are just helping us at getting rid of those dark controllers. Once it's done, once we with their assistance, with the Federation assistance, once we have kicked our own bodies, our own demons, human demons, they'll be proud of us. Yes, you made it, and now you've grown up and you know how not to fall into the trap ever again. You're mature enough to have the tools. When the student is ready, he's given the tools, or the sword or the weapon, but not. And
people should not just wait around. They have to work. No. They have to work on themselves, and
that's it.
That's going to help to bring these things faster.
Yes, and among the dark narratives, the infiltrated narratives, it invites people to wait, and that's wrong, because when you are telling people, wait, you are going to be given technology, don't do anything, wait, or you are going to be saved, don't do anything, that's an agenda to force you not to do anything, and that's not good. You need to do the work yourself,
Mm.
help each other, stop conflict, divide and conquer, and just do the work. And then it will come. Then it will come.
Yes. So I think that will be a good last word. Anything else would you want to add to that?
Never lose hope. However, you are tricked with the illusion to believe that into horrible things that will happen. That's just illusion.
Yes.
Never lose hope, because humanity is moving forward. It has started already. There's no way back. We're going to this future. So never, ever lose hope. If there wasn't any hope, the Star Nations wouldn't be here.
Yes.
So they know the future. They know humanity is making it.
Yes.
So never lose hope. We just need to tidy up the job. That's all we need. It's only good for ahead, only good. Never lose hope.
And now that John Charles has opened up the disclosure about Japan and Mount Fuji and all the exciting things about Japan, so I think everybody's very excited in Japan about that story, what's happening. So I think that's really helped a lot of Japanese to have hope. Yes. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Elena.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you in Japan.
Me too. Me too. And I can't wait to walk on this beautiful sacred land.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
me too.
So maybe sometime this year again, if we start to raise more questions, then I will ask for maybe another Q&A session with you. But meanwhile, I'll keep continuing to translate your videos.
Thank you so much. Thank you.